ba 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 do ba ba boom doodly doo ba doo doo ba 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 do ba 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 do boom boom boo doo boom. Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to Smirky Inside. I, of course, am your host, Curt Covert. I'm the owner of Smirk and Dagger Games, and we always take a look at what's happening behind the scenes here at Smirk and Dagger every week, Tuesdays at 4:30. So here we are. So I missed last week. Apologies for that. For those of you who may have been looking for the broadcast, but it's been a little crazy here, and I do have two pretty exciting things to share with you that we've been working on in the past 2 weeks. So I'll get to that in just a moment. I see Brad is here. Hey, thanks for joining us, Brad. And but a couple things I wanted to chat about too, by the way. I'm thinking about. I'm not going to start with that. I'm actually going to talk about. I was at. I was down in Virginia. I was visiting my family. Now, interesting thing. I don't get to play board games a lot with my family, my wife and my kids, because that's not necessarily their favorite pastime. Sad for me, but true. But we got together for a family reunion, and so my parents were in, and my sister and her family were in, and now we're in a beautiful section of Virginia, Williamsburg, and much to my dad's chagrin, it was so hot that a lot of people didn't feel like going out and seeing the sights, which of course we've all seen before, but it's always nice to go see the history. But instead, what we ended up doing was we stayed in the air conditioning and hung out and chatted, and of course we ended up playing a lot of board games. So I actually played a couple things that I had not played before. I'm just going to share them with you. And by the way, if you've been playing some new board games, drop down in the comments and let me know what you've been playing as well as we go. So first of all, if you have not seen this game by Calliope, this is pretty cool. Enchanted Plumes. It's a kind of a family weight card game. It was, I think, an absolute delight. You're kind of building this beautiful array of feathers to form the kind of the fanning peacock tail. And it had a really kind of cool mechanic as you're building out and kind of almost pushing your luck to how many cards can you put out before you start building down. And that's especially hard because the top row are worth negative points. And I thought that was very clever. So anyway, if you've not tried this, I do recommend it. So let's see. I was kind of late to the game on this one. I finally had a chance to play Everdel, which I really, really loved. It was quite an experience. The physical tree that you build is almost unnecessary but lovely to look at. The art on this game is absolutely gorgeous. The gameplay, it's worker placement kind of a thing, but the engine building and it was is just really beautifully crafted. So I enjoyed that. And of course, I've heard me talk about this one before again. I absolutely love Clank, and Adventuring Party just adds all kinds of asymmetrical characters, which I really, really enjoy playing with. So if you haven't tried that, do so. People have been telling me about Clank Legacy, and I do have to try that at some point because I've heard nothing but good things. All right. Brad's saying that they've been enjoying Cubitos. Is it Cubitos? I'm not sure. But yes, I have not played that one yet, but I have heard great things. So that's actually on my list of games to try, if not buy. In any case, let's see what else is going on. Well, I've been doing a lot of playtesting also in the past number of weeks. So we are still working really hard on both Hex decks, which we now have Lindsay Look, the illustrator who is starting to do the illustrations of our spell casting mages and hexers. So that's really exciting. I hope to have something to share with you maybe next week as a first look at one of the characters. it's always great working with Lindsay Look. She's of course done Magic the Gathering cards. She's done illustrations on a whole host of games, including ours. She did the most recent Cutthroat Caverns characters for our anniversary edition, and of course back in the day, Dread Curse. Those pirates were hers as well, and just gorgeous works that she does. We've also been testing Boom Patrol a lot, and so that has been really interesting. We've gotten a lot of feedback from play testers and a couple other designers who lended their hand too, and we're just like, not that we've changed anything whole scale, but I think we're like getting closer to the things that are really fun, and I'm excited as that is rolling forward, literally through buildings and other things. And of course, we are also getting ready for Gen Con, as well as Origins, and then further down the road, PAX Unplugged. By the way, our booth at Gen Con is 2323, and this is actually the time, if you were thinking about joining us for any of the events, whether they be online or in person, this is the time to go ahead and register. Gen Con is accepting registrations for all of our events. Just look up Smirk and Dagger. You'll find a whole listing. A number of the live events have sold out, but absolutely get on board and do the online ones as well. Jonathan is going to be doing Hex Decks, so you'll have a chance to see how that is going. It's leaps and bounds. If you played it last year at Gen Con, it's come a long way in that amount of time. So check that out. Of course, the Spill, the Night Cage, the Deadlies. We'll be doing a lot of Deadlies both in person and online as well. So join us for that. That is always a blast. I see. Let's see. Oh, Jonathan is here. How you doing? And Scraff, thanks for joining us out on Twitch. So it's going to be exciting time. We're really looking forward to it. Obviously, everyone has to wear masks now. I think that's probably not a terrible thing, given that it's a pretty big event still. What is that? Oh, Scraff is asking me, what is that quote behind you? Oh, there. Because games are a lot more fun when you can stab a friend in the back. That is the tagline of Smirk and Dagger games for the past, 18 years. Really applied more to the core brand rather than that kind of the expanded Smirk and Laughter line. But for 14 years, we did nothing but stab your buddy games, and that's what we planted our flag and stood for, and that was its expression. So, yeah, it actually was pretty interesting to have that kind of singular focus, and I think a lot of people who loved our brand early on, they kind of came back again and again because we were delivering a very consistent experience. Of course, now, oddly, we've got, the last two games are cooperative games, which I never thought I would do, ever. But super excited about both of them. Night Cage is absolutely killing it. I've spent a good chunk of the last 3 weeks doing a lot of customer service, making sure people have got their games in, and of course with any project that comes in, there's going to be some damaged or missing materials in those games that got mispacked or mishandled, and so doing a lot of making sure just people get what they need, and still waiting for some supplies to help on some of that, because I don't have all the games here. They're out in a warehouse. So yeah, Brad is like, never say ever with the cooperative. You're right. So I just never thought it was going to be me. Oh, Scrub is like, I don't think I want to be his friend. Well, fair point. Well, I think the funny thing is, people have always said, well, it's like you're the nicest guy with the meanest games. How is that a thing? Well, it's a thing. I don't know. It's cathartic, I like to think. Anyway, so yeah, so lots of different things going on, but I did want to actually jump right in and show you what we've been working on very hard, and that is we are ramping up to our September 7th launch of The Spill. So Here we go. I'm going to switch over and get us a look here. Boop, boop, boop. This will work. Yeah, there we go. No, that's not the thing I want. I want this one. Why are you not behaving? Okay, I'm going to have to remove that. Oh, add to the stream. Got it. Okay, here we go. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. So yeah, I had been building the page for our Kickstarter. If you've never done one of these things, by the way, I can't tell you how much work goes into just the getting ready to go ahead and get a Kickstarter running, let alone actually the process of running one and the process of getting a game created. It's easily as much work as it is to produce the game itself. But in any case, so we have been kind of working on the page. I'm going to scroll up a bit. Now, this is not live yet. This is still something that, what are you stuck now? There we go. It's still something that is in development. The page will actually go up on the 7th, but this is just kind of a little sneak peek. So here's kind of the beginning of the story. Of course, the amazing graphics by Kwanchai. And then it kind of rolls down into seeing the actual game on display with it. By the way, that tower is like 8 inches tall. It's a 4-way dice tower, which is a really, really cool thing that Andy Kim had come up with. And so I put a little motion in the ocean here with the oil sliding across the bottom. A unique reverse tower defense challenge where the relentless oil spills from a 4-way dice tower, threatening the sea life. A suspenseful cooperative game delivering edge of your seat excitement right to the very end, which it absolutely does. And that's one of the things that I truly love about the game. It's really almost, it's like the last drop of dice that's going to determine whether you win or lose this game. And it's pretty exciting. So here we go. We got the little logo action and then our story. I'm going to bring this up a little bit because it's hard to see that. Come on now. There we go. All right. So, offshore rig Deepwell 4 is blown out and the rupture is spilling crude oil into the ocean at an alarming rate. You are members of a joint task force who have been dispatched to the scene. Working together as a team, use your talents to avert an ecological disaster, one which threatens to contaminate marine life and devastate the ecosystem. The situation is dire and escalating by the minute. Contain the spill, remove what oil you can, and rescue the marine animals. The world is watching. I think this is just a great lead into the idea of the game, which of course is delivered by the fun of that tower. And then of course, just kind of letting people understand in 6 easy steps. Well, what is this game all about? We've just got these great motion graphics in here, which we pulled from the video we're working on. And it just kind of neatly and cleanly tells you what the game is all about. You're moving your specialists to all the emerging threats around the board. You're saving the sea life and the contaminated animals. Pushing back the oil either back into the bag or removing it from the water completely. And of course, here's how you lose. If you lose too many animals, that's a bad thing. If you get too much dice spilled out in columns, that's a terrible thing. All ways to lose, unless you're able to pull off a win by completing these 3 goals. So it's just it's a really, really cool game. We'll have the rules posted there so you can get a deep dive on those if you like. But what I'm most excited to show you today, and I think I've been kind of hemming and hawing and teasing it out, but we've got the first cut of our intro video, and that's what I can't wait to show you. So now there's probably going to be just a little bit of audio sweetening that's going to happen here, but this is essentially what the video is going to be. So let's switch over. Drum roll, please. Let's remove you. We're going to add this to the stream. Oh, pause that right there, and let's go to the big screen, okay? All right.
Deep well 4, say again. What is the nature of your emergency? Over.
Reporting a major spill incident in progress. The wellhead is ruptured below the surface. We have an uncontrolled release of crude oil from the seafloor. This is a Priority 1 emergency. Repeat, Priority 1 spill.
That was 6 hours ago. Ladies and gentlemen, this response team has been assembled to avert an ecological disaster, one which threatens to contaminate marine life and devastate the ecosystem. The situation is dire and escalating by the minute. There's no time to waste. Contain the flow. Remove what oil you can from the waters. Save the sea life. The world is watching. The fate of the coast is in your hands. Let's go to work.
The Spill is an intense cooperative strategy game for 1 to 4 players. Featuring a 4-way dice tower which spills more oil dice onto the board with every turn, the game presents a suspenseful reverse tower defense challenge. Dice will fall into 1 of 4 quadrants. The rolled value determines the sector the oil will fill, spreading oil in unpredictable ways. Players are trained specialists who must move to emerging threats as they occur. Contain oil by pushing dice back into the bag or remove it from the water completely. Rescue marine life and save contaminated animals. Blue weather dice will cause complications while communal resource cards selected by the team will help you in critical moments. The contamination of too many marine animals or the accumulation of an overwhelming amount of oil will end the game in a devastating loss, unless you can complete all 3 mission goals to win the game first. It's edge of your seat excitement right to the last drop.
Cool. So, yeah, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed that. We tried to add some dramatic tension up to the front of that, really make you kind of feel the tension of the dire situation that is in front of the players, and then would that music just swell in and start saying, "Wow, all right, so the goal of the game now is be a hero and do something about this horrible situation before it gets out of control." And I see some people signing in here. So we got Alessandro, amazing, thank you so much. Chris Chung, how's it going? Good to see you. Such a cool game. Love Kwanchai Moriya's art in this. Jonathan Loveley and I played around with a few days ago, and we lost with 2 win conditions done. So it was a tight one. Congrats, Andy Kim. Indeed, congrats, Andy Kim. And sounds like you also, this was Andy's first look at the video too. I almost thought about just like, sending it to you, get a preview, but I figured, no, enjoy it with everyone and kind of, be part of that moment. So yes, thanks all for watching and for your comments here. So we ended up working with Bryce Walter and Matthew Wheats over at We Make Teasers in order to create that. And of course, they had to deal with my. I come from a video production background, so I basically scripted and said, "Can you make this?" So anyway, I hope it wasn't too much of a pain for them, but. Let's see. So, oh, hey, CJ, good to see you. So instead of spilling the tea, you're teasing the spill. Oh, yes. The pun master strikes again. Well done, CJ. But yeah, they were great to work with. They did a great job on this. As I say, we're just going to tweak just 1 or 2 pieces of that audio, but I'm very, very happy with the way that came out. And I think it's going to get a lot of people excited about the game. One of the things I love about the video is, you watch it and without really knowing a lot too deep about the rules, you really do get a great feel for how the game is going to play and what your role is. And you actually, I think, feel the cinematic effect that the game has on you. You do feel like you are right in the middle of that terrible disaster and doing all you can to prevent it. So, I'm glad that the video actually kind of communicates that. So let's see, what else can we talk about? Oh, so let me ask you a question. Um, TikTok, originally it was a social media channel that was, pretty young fan base, people using that. Of course, now it's really expanded and it's grown. There is a very big and growing board game community on TikTok. I'm not sure if you knew that. Um, are you guys actually involved in that community? Are you are watching the videos? Are you checking out the content? Because I keep on seeing it grow leaps and bounds, and I'm I'm pretty sure we're actually going to start developing a TikTok channel and start creating content for that as well. So yeah, if that's something that you guys have been checking out, I'd love to hear that. But certainly it's something that was a little eye opening for me, and I'm kind of excited. I think it's a whole new territory, and probably a bunch of gamers we might not otherwise reach on, like, say, a Facebook or a YouTube, or but I think it's absolutely, it's exploding right now. So kind of neat. Yeah, Brad, I didn't know really about it either, but I've been talking. I've been talking with Rick Rolls America about doing some content for us, and he's been a huge proponent. His channel is terrific, so you should check out his content. But he is a huge proponent of TikTok, and so I'm kind of excited to get involved. Is there dancing? Well, not from me, if I can help it. It's not something that anyone really needs to see. So, but thanks, Brad. It's a good question. Although, if suppose it's possible, if we ever did something live from Gamma trade show after hours, maybe. Certainly things always get a little bit more colorful in the evenings over there. Let's see. I think that I've come to the end of most of my updates this week. Is there anything else you guys are thinking about? Any of the games you've been playing and excited about? Stuff that you're looking forward to, hesitation about conventions, or how many of you are actually going this year? Love to hear about all that stuff and talk about it. I'm actually feeling pretty good about it. Obviously it's going to be it's a super spreader event, really, but hopefully a good majority of us are in fact vaccinated. I think obviously there have been breakthroughs. I have personal friends who've had breakthroughs. But we're going to be masked up. I think all of Gen Con and Origins are going to be masked up, and I think we're going to be fairly responsible about how we interact with each other. We don't want to inadvertently invite all this stuff in that we can avoid otherwise. But it's a little bit of a risk. So I suppose there's some trepidation, but I'm pretty confident that things are going to work out pretty well. Any comments about Origins? Well, specifically, what about Origins, Brad? We're definitely going to go. It's now a 3-day show rather than a 4-day show. But I think by and large, that's as much about the school year being kicked off than it is anything else. I think there are just less people with, if it was in the summer, sure, it makes a lot more sense. It's easier to pull the vacation. But now that we're going to be, September, October, yeah, I can understand why they may have trimmed a day. But if there's something else about Origins that you're talking about that I don't know about, let me know below. I'll see it pop up. But I'm looking forward so much to actually being with people again. I have missed conventions so much in the last, year and a half. I'm anxious to get back, just because it's so much a part of why I do what I do. Creating games is one thing, selling them is another, but sharing them is why we all do it. And conventions are a great way to do that, to actually be with people you love, share the fun of them, catch up on conversations and see how people are doing. Conventions are all about that. And yeah, I'm sure there are lots of people who are like, oh, Gen Con, it's like, it's crowded, it's noisy, it's all those things, right? But I absolutely love it, and I love doing demos, so I can't wait. And he's like, yeah, stay safe, Curt, because he's going to be up in Canada, because they still have, it's hard to get down into the US yet. So, which I'm sorry that you're not going to be able to join us. We are obviously going to be live with the Spill Kickstarter from the Gen Con floor. So figure this out. Yeah, if we launch on September 7th, that means our second week will be right in the middle of Gen Con. So it's going to be a little hard to manage all the craziness, but that's what we signed up for. And of course, it would have been great to have Andy there to help promote the game and things, but we will do our best, Andy. And CJ says, using Origins as my retailer convention this year. Oh, cool. All right. Well, that's great. I will be seeing you there then, CJ. That's great. Crazy, Brad says. Right. And he also says, love Origins and North Market. Well, everyone loves the North Market. That is just... it's great. And of course, Jenny's ice cream, everyone's looking forward to that, I'm sure, as well. I know I am. Their flavors are amazing. There are no flavors like those in other places I've ever visited. We got a great creamery here in my hometown. It's right on a dairy farm. They are amazing. But the Jenny's flavors are like stunning in some cases. So I'm looking forward to that and all the different eateries out there. And of course, there's Gen Con coming with the food trucks, and they're going to be having a whole big patio event outside as well. So that sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Tim says, I've not found many who demo game as good as you, Curt. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I have great memories of Dread Curse with you. It was a blast. Well, you know what? It's probably just because I, honest to God, love doing it. And I've said this a lot of times. Some of my first games like Hex, I have demoed that game literally thousands of times, and you would think it would get old after a while, but it doesn't. And because the people you play with are always new, their reactions are always fresh, and that is always a huge high for me. I get super excited to see people enjoying something that we put out. Obviously, if it's my game, absolutely. And even if it's a game that I've adopted from another designer, I get the same rush. I take the same pride in it. It becomes, I adopt that as my child, and I just get super excited by all the stuff we produce. So seeing it enjoyed by people, that's why I get up in the morning, really. Let's see, what was it? CJ, my game to look forward to, the whispered, Sagrada Legacy from Floodgate. I do want to know more about that too. I can't imagine how you make Sagrada a legacy game. Is that a real thing, or are you making a joke? Because I'm not sure if I've heard about it. There's so many legacy games coming out. Somebody even suggested that we should make a Cutthroat Caverns legacy game, which I won't say we're not thinking about. We haven't started yet. So what's my favorite game, Scraff? That is a super hard question, dude. I honestly, I don't know how to answer that. I love almost every game that I play. They all come across like differently. Like for years, like chess was like my favorite game in the world because it was I just got so involved with it. I love planning like 5-6 moves ahead, and I got really pretty good at it. I loved Magic the Gathering when it came out. Like I first saw the announcement, I sniffed the newsprint of the announcement. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for this thing. And I was not alone. The games that I just showed earlier in the broadcast, Clank and Everdel and Enchanted Plumes, I loved all of them. I don't know that I could actually pick a favorite game. So what's your favorite game? Well, I'll turn it around, see if you have an easier time with it. Pat Connell, hey, how you doing? Good to see you out there. Release the Run for Your Life Anniversary Edition. So, Pat, I will tell you, that has been on the docket for a little while. COVID made that almost impossible to really get done, because that really is kind of a convention game as far as I can see. But I think as as we get into next year or the following, we will have the opportunity to give that a whirl and see if there's enough heart for it out there. I mean, obviously, it's it's barely a game, but man, between what my team has done with this game at our conventions, Jonathan, of course, leading the charge way back when, it has become an absolute keystone gemstone of an event at every Gen Con. It's our biggest, it's our loudest event every single year. Sadly, it's not going to happen this year. Ooh, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's usually like 96 people screaming their heads off, ripping the limbs off a gingerbread man, and holding them over heads. Behold, the head of my enemy, with everyone around them going, "Ho!" My God, it is hysterical. It shocks and delights me every time I see what that game has become. And honestly, if you don't know, that was never going to be a printed game. If you've heard me tell the story, but I actually had come up with it as like a joke game. It was going to be something that I was going to put on our website as a free PDF download, and you could play it with your own, regular version of the inspiration. But I brought it to the Gamma Trade Show one year, and I started showing retailers the game. It was black and white, just like a picture of the board and a temporary box cover. And every distributor and retailer who walked by stopped dead in their tracks and like, what have you done? Oh my God, no, full color. Put any price you want on it. We'll sell the crap out of it. And they truly have. Now, it's not like it's going to receive any critical, review, but certainly the fans have loved it for years. Folks come dressed in team T-shirts that they've made to our events now. It's been absolutely amazing. So anyway, let's see. Who else do we have out here? CJ's, they announced it, supposedly releasing it at Gen Con. Oh, I hope you're not talking about a Run for Your Life anniversary. Yeah, if someone announced it, they're going to be sorely disappointed. I should have a stream where I play chess with viewers. Oh, what a cool idea. Scruff, I like that. My skills are not what they were, I can tell you that. But I did have a game back in the day. CJ says, still want to see a Cutthroat Caverns roll and write game called Roll and Spite. Oh, wow. From your fingers to my ears, I love it. That is a great idea. Roll and Spite. I mean, that's just fabulous. Well done. And Scrap, okay, wow, look at that. Yours is also chess. Kismet. See? Great minds. And Pat said that he'd join. Okay, well, I will put that into the hopper, and we'll see if I can't work that out. Yeah, how would you do that? Zoom? Is that the best way to do it? Maybe. I'm not sure. But other things that we can kind of look forward together. Hey, well, thanks so much for joining me for this edition of the show. I'll be back next week at 4:30 once again. Who knows what I'll have to show then? But we are going to be getting mighty close to the spill. And Andy and I are still working on how can we, take the game even further. So behind the scenes, even as we know what the game is, we're looking at what the game might be and getting all ready for that as well. So in any case, hope to see you then. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already on all the various viewing things that you're on. And we'll see you next time. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.